but and then I'd push anywhere it was, I say safe, for a lack of better words, that I could push the car really hard. I pushed extremely hard with no brakes, and then to try to stay on pace with Vaughn. And I was able to keep him somewhat behind me, pulled back in, filled the brake fluid up, and we found the line was broke on the back of the car. So we took a pair of vice grips, crimped it off, zip-tied him to the axle, and Vaughn got around me physically, pulled out behind him, and he actually started having issues, which helped me get around him and get a pass on him. So I got a pass on him, and then he come out right behind me. And we ran, I think it was the lap before the last lap. We ran around, and I was under the impression he was broke when I passed him. So I was pushing but not crazy hard, and come around on the last lap, and we got to a point where I could see him, and he was right behind me. And I was like, oh, no, I got to go. I got to get a 30-second gap on him. So then we just kind of left all the cards on the table. Last lap, might as well just gamble and go for it. We want to win.
Did you get your communications back?
Never did.
So you had no idea? They couldn't tell you when you get close to them that Vaughn's right on your butt. He's coming for you.
Oh, yeah. It was neat. And we're running into lap traffic, too, on top of all this. So there'll be some good footage coming out of me pushing guys, getting behind them and pushing them out of my way.
And one of the great things, we had a lot of onboard footage that was coming into our live feed on that. And you're giving a lot of people some great views, too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And it gives the people an idea of all the stuff going on in the car. So, me being a single seat, I got rags. I put them underneath my leg. I got a little bag of them, so I'm wiping my lens off, shifting the car, steering the car, pumping the brakes up, trying to make sure I'm staying on race course. And all this the whole time you got rocks, 4-inch rocks flying at you from other cars if you're behind one. So you got all this stuff going on at one time, and you're trying to figure out where the guys behind you are, making sure they're not gaining on you.
Well, a little birdie told me that apparently that your mic was stuck or whatever, so they were listening to you the entire time. I was just waiting to throw that one out there on you.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, whether there's some censored stuff going on there, or they might thought you'd been a little nuts talking to yourself or talking to the car.
So I actually, it's funny you mentioned this. So I talk to myself in the car as I'm driving. It helps me process as a driver, and I didn't know the mic was stuck on, so I don't know anybody can hear me. And apparently they're listening to me the whole time, and then I checked the live feed camera and made sure to have audio when they put it in the car. I said, hey, that doesn't got audio, does it? And they go, no, we can't hear nothing. I said, okay, cool. Because you get behind people and you use some choice words, we'll say, and it gets a little interesting.
Well, Paul, I got to say congratulations on the win. We appreciate it so much, you stopping by and talking to us. Folks, don't go anywhere. We got racing coming. We got a quick break, but we'll be back with more with Speed Sport Live from Visions 2023.
Lightweight, agile, and strong, the Pitbull is perfect for the job. The Pitbull is the first and only lift that can be used in the pits and in your garage. Elevate your racing with a Handy.
Watching Speed Sport 1, your home for great off-road racing from America and around the globe. Woo-hoo-hoo! From Ultra 4 to Rally. These guys are fighting for the lead.
It seems very aggressive.
Short course to desert race.
Great move there. He is so fast.
Whether on 2 wheels or 4, Speed Sport 1 has the off-road action you crave.
Look at that move. It jumps to the inside.
Speed Sport 1, the Motorsports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2023 Visions Off-Road Side-by-Side Battle. We have the Pro NA car sitting out there ready to duke it out. Good look at the number 5 car. That is Owen Van Eperen, current points leader coming into this event. The 21 car, that is Kanan Baker as well. Taking a look at the number 99 car, Kyler Holcomb, with a good run. So we'll bring him out here. This is race number 2, round number 4. So we'll get them out here and finish things up here for the weekend. One round to go. It was Chase Carr, who had qualified on the pole, had a tough outlap, fell back a few positions, but then scrapped hard, Pam, to get back up there and take that win.
Yes, it is awesome to see him out there back up on the pole here. We do have 22 cars that will be taking the green flag out here for our Pro NA class today. But we do have a stacked field all day long for all of our racing, or I should say all evening long out here at Mid-America Outdoors. I'm so excited to be up here again with you in the booth, and it's going to be an amazing evening of racing.
Yeah, so Sean Hess finishing up second. Connor Berry third. Connor Berry had a great day one day ago as he finished up third here in Pro NA, also second inside of the Pro Light category. So he'll be pulling double duty here again today as he'll hop out of this one and into his Pro Light truck. Owen Van Eperen, we talked about being the points leader, popped a motor in qualifying, had to put the backup engine in, which is basically a stock 1000 engine. Keep in mind the rules here are a little bit different than what he competes in at Antigo a weekend ago. In the Champ Series, they are stock 1000s over here. Here they're 1000cc, but allowed to change the internals. So he's a little under horsepowered, but still did a great job of finishing up inside of the top 5. And Kanan Baker with a great effort for him as well. It was his best finish of the year in 5th place.
Yes, and Kanan Baker is also running in the Nitro Cross as well in the side-by-side series, so he has a lot of seat time this weekend. Then we have Kyler Holcomb starting in that number 6 position, and then Chris Johnson in that 7th. Cross Kirchmeier, which we saw him also racing in the barrel racing the other day as well, starting in that number 8 position.
So as we take a look at this, they are going to make a full lap here. We had a driver powwow, if you will, one day ago. It's a great thing that they do out here in this series. It gives the drivers a chance to make suggestions, voice their complaints, whatever it may be, and there's a great discussion there. Great ideas come out of it. One of those ideas is these guys had not been out on the track for a while as we take a look at our Ultimax starting lineup, but they decided to give them a sight lap. They've not been out on this track today. The Nitro cars have been out there, so give them a sight lap and let them see what they're going to be racing on before they turn them loose. So we'll go to this second page as well. 22 cars strong in race number 1. Great stuff for sure. Colin Truitt, by the way, second in the points. You see him down there in the 14 hole, had a tough race number 1. We'll see if he can turn things around here today, as did Robert Van Beekem.
Yes, and you mentioned Colin Truitt. He had an issue with his front diff during the race, and that's what's going on with him. He's having some issues with that. But it looks like we're going to be going racing very soon. We can see the cars all trying to catch up so they can bunch up. So it's an even playing field when they get that green flag. Yeah,
side-by-side rolling start here. They'll come through this final turn and look for the green flag. As far as we know, the format will be the same, which is 4 laps, mandatory caution, 3-lap shootout at the end.
Yes, and that mandatory caution, as we saw in our races yesterday, they're super awesome to have. And here we go. The green flag is out. We see Sean Hess right there next to Chase Carr. Looks like Chase Carr ended up in that number 1 spot, so getting that whole shot.
Trying to make it there through turn number 1, nice and clean. Cars all over the place, 2 and 3 wide. Kanan Baker there up into the 5th spot after finishing inside of the top 5 there one day ago. I believe Chase Carr hanging on to that spot, as you talked about. One car back there obviously having issues getting through that first turn.
Yes, it's very difficult sometimes whenever they're so bunched up to get through our turns, but that is racing. It happens. But right now going through, and that's Van Beekem on his side. Unfortunate for Van Beekem.
Man, he's such a talented racer. He's a veteran who has seen and done about everything. He's won everywhere, but talk about a guy that is magically in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just tough for him how it goes sometimes. So hopefully he's okay. That is the first concern as they set back there to the back part of the track.
Yes,
so
they are.
Dust, unfortunately, everywhere here.
They were watering the track down just a little bit earlier on, but I know that was another discussion, as you were saying, through our powwow. But look at young Kanan Baker just making a pass, trying to keep that spot on the inside of Sean Hess.
Yeah, and I love it that Sean Hess is out there doing a solid job with that Honda. Very impressive there. I love to see the different manufacturers enjoy some success. Owen Van Eperen in the number 5 car. That's a Yamaha. Of course, no shortage of Polaris's. Connor Berry just there in front of Owen Van Eperen, who finished up 3rd 1 round ago.
Yes, and we will be coming around for our first lap completed with Chase Carr in that number 1 spot, but we still do have that yellow caution, as we did see Robert Van Beekem on his side from turn 1 on the start.
So yeah, the local caution there, safety first here for these drivers to make sure that that Van Beekem will be okay. And that's the other car that was involved there. Can't see the number. Unless that might be is that a safety worker's car?
The one in the middle bottom, yes, that would be one of our safety workers, more than likely. Actually, I see Billy Champion down there making sure everything's okay, and that is his vehicle.
Billy Champion, the race director. So they slow down. That is a local yellow. They can approach about 50 feet before that flag, as we have a battle here for the lead. Chase Carr now under attack.
It looks like the young gentleman of Kanan Baker that is right behind him.
Kanan Baker, from what we understand, will also be competing in the Nitro Rally cars. A beautiful job right there. Drives right down underneath Chase Carr. Carr coming right back at him. A setup, and he opened up the inside. Baker took advantage of it. Now Carr trying to get underneath him as they go side by side.
Wow, side by side in these open wheel cars sometimes is nerve-wracking, especially when you're going off of these jumps. But looks like Kanan Baker is trying to hold that spot. He's just trying to hold off Chase Carr. It's going to be a very awesome race to see these boys battle it out.
Kanan Baker, a solid player. Saw him really do a great job in Texas at the Tex Flex event. Former champion as well inside of this category. So finally flexing some muscle, because he's had a tough year so far as he comes in here a little bit deeper in the points, but 15th to 6th, 11th to 7th, 17th and 16th, and finally puts together a 5th place effort a day ago. Now battling for the lead as Chase Carr takes that inside line, gets a plenty of air, lands on the bottom of the turn, and takes over the spot.
Yes, it looked like Kanan checked up just a little too much, and that allowed Chase Carr to get inside on that line and pass him. And here we are still under that local yellow caution. There is a 25 mile per hour speed limit that we are supposed to abide by. No passing as well by the yellow flag.
Yeah, they were also intending the drivers' meeting back on Tuesday to let everybody know, or Wednesday morning, I believe it was, that you cannot make up any ground underneath that caution as well. But everybody has been really tight here, nose to tail, as we continue on here.
So our top, 6 or 7 cars right now are definitely running close. It looks like Chase Carr, Kanan Baker, Sean Hess, Owen Van Eperen, Kyler Holcomb, and Cross Kirchmeier are running a great race up there in the front of the pack.
Kanan has just been back in the hornet's nest, it seems like, all year long. Chase Carr has done a great job, comes in here also doing very well in the points. And man, they are just swapping back and forth, side by side they go. Great racing, no contact here, just pushing hard. Great battle going on back there for 4th place as well.
I feel like we're watching a replay from the last
I know,
round.
right? How about this, man? I mean, I love it that we now have 6 cars up in the front, everybody battling. Nobody able to drive away from each other in different manufacturers. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, and as you know and as I know, what happens is when you're battling, that allows you to have your competitors behind you catch up, because when you're battling it out together, you're driving hard, but you're also not driving as hard as you would be if you were driving by yourself.
Chase Carr, the number 1 qualifier earlier this weekend, really switched it on. These top 2 starting to drive away just a little bit.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. You should have seen Kanan Baker. He just completely bicycled his car, almost took it over, but he saved it, and he's already catching back up to Chase Carr.
Did Credo, and he does it again right there. So that is the final turn. So a couple times up on the bike there for Kanan will cost him, and that is a red and yellow. So they will come to a controlled stop here, courtesy of that red flag. Something else that came up there in the driver's summit, so just to let people know, in the driver's meeting as well. The red flag usually means bring it to a stop, but the caution in combination with the red will just be a controlled stop or a controlled slow down. As we continue to look at the order there, Chase Carr, Kanan Baker, and Sean Hess, your top 3 there. Holcomb 4th, and Kirchmeier in the 5th hole. That is Cross Kirchmeier, because there's also Curtis Kirchmeier as well. Owen Van Eperen there in 6th place. So they'll cruise him up the hill there. We have not heard the reason for that red yellow there, unless it was a mandatory caution here, which is right on target. That's got to be what that is, with 3 laps remaining. So they'll bunch them all back up, and in this case, the top 6 were all nose to tail as it stands out anyways. Chase Carr coming in here is currently 4th in the points. Coming into this weekend, finished up 2nd in the very first race, but then stumbled a little bit, 16th in round 1, race number 2. Then finished 2nd again, round 2 at Wheatland, and 5th for a 3rd place overall. So Chase Carr's been slowly putting it together, and then round 3, man, he lit it up as he was 1st and 2nd overall there on that one. Great stuff there, and of course 1st yesterday. So doing a really good job is young Chase Carr as he tries to scrap back up in the hunt for this points battle.
Yes, and this is going to be very interesting restart once they get that green flag again, because like you were saying, he's a very fast driver. We have Kanan Baker still running 2nd. They've been going back and forth, but Sean Hess now has no gap between him and Kanan Baker, and he's been a very fast driver out here also to reckon with.
Yeah, there's also no gap between Sean Hess and Kyler Holcomb.
Correct, exactly.
So he'll have to be busy from somebody from behind as well. So that's what we look forward to. And again, talking about Sean Hess inside of that Honda, doing a great job with the different manufacturers. Seems like the Polaris's, and really Owen Van Eperen with that Yamaha came out just swinging the first 2 rounds. I mean, he dominated out here. And then stumbled there, and round 3 out here, Memorial Day weekend, he was leading that race as well, clipped a tractor tire, ripped off the right rear, so that slowed him down and finished up in 18th place and had to limp it through the weekend. And then, of course, as we talked about, popped the motor there in qualifying earlier this week. So Owen Van Eperen suffering his fair share of issues as well. As they come back around through this final turn, we should pick up the green flag here and have this 3-lap shootout. They are on the gas. Here we go. 3 laps for the Pro NA, race number 2, round number 4. Sean is out. Chase Carr out front right there, and here comes Kanan Baker again, trying to take a look at the inside. There is Sean Hess back with a Honda, falls back into 3rd place as they sail through turn 2.
Wow, what a restart we had right there. It looked like Kanan Baker had to check up just a little bit because he was right on, but there's Kyler Holcomb right there up against the wall. That is very unfortunate. He's been a very amazing driver out here.
Here we go.
Well.
Another battle for this lead.
Let's see if we're going to see another instant replay here on this lap like we did last time.
Kanan Baker losing that left rear fender, just fiberglass, should be okay. Again, gets up on the bike just for a moment, but stays in the throttle and is going to pick up the lead here. Chase Carr goes outside in, right back up beside him, much like they did last time. So a great battle here, and Sean Hess just waiting for somebody to make a mistake.
Kanan Baker now has that lead, but they keep going back and forth. These kids are driving so fast and so hard. They're really testing their skills, but they're also driving a clean race as well.
Yeah, you said kid, and key word there. 15 years old is young Kanan Baker.
I'm not sure how old Chase Carr is.
Chase Carr's 15 as well. I mean, amazing, right? I mean, so talented, both of these young drivers.
Wow, and Kanan Baker just now, he's kind of drifting those corners, which kind of sometimes will slow you down. And right here, this is where Chase Carr got past Kanan earlier on as well. So these drivers both have areas of this track that they definitely excel on, and it's showing definitely during this race.
Yeah, great stuff. There's that final turn, that kicker down there on the inside as well. You're exactly right. Chase Carr took advantage of that last time. Again, that local caution back out here.
That could be if Kyler Holcomb is still on the wall, and there we see Kyler Holcomb getting towed off without a right rear tire.
Yeah, tough break for him, man. Again, another guy doing great in the points, came in here in the top 5, finished up 6th, 1 round to go. Had a really fast car and a good starting position today, but as you talked about, just can't get it done without that right rear. Back on we go. Kanan again attacking Chase Carr for that lead. Great battle here for 3rd place as well, side by side. Good race here in Pro NA.
Man, these boys are just battling out. This is the area, this is the section where Kanan Baker, he excels in. This is where he's always, getting back up onto Chase Carr. That backstretch is a part of our old race course as well, so he knows that part very well. Chase Carr trying to get past him again, and they keep going the same thing during each one of these turns. They keep at it. They keep going side by side and back and forth.
Chase Carr finished up 2nd at Visions 1 year ago, trying to turn that around here. even if he hangs on here, should win the overall with the win yesterday and a second place here today. Kanan not quite a strong one round to go, but certainly flexing some muscle here, and they are far from done. We do not know who's going to win this one. This is a great battle, best battle we've seen for the lead all season long.
And this is right there. That turn is where Chase Carr has been passing Kanan Baker, but not this time. It could be this one as well that he has excelled on as well. So, wow, what an amazing race these two boys are putting on. But we do have
awesome stuff here as Kanan Baker, the former 2021 Pro NA champ. We'll see if we pick up the white flag. Should have it right here. Plenty of contact things. They've been really clean, but we're getting down to it here. That was the white flag. Full course right here is green now. No local caution, so they'll be able to battle through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Chase Carr back down on the inside.
And you can tell that Kanan Baker, he's trying to protect his line. He does not want to keep any doors open to allow Chase Carr to pass him up. But this is the last lap. They're going to push their limits even harder than they have been the whole entire race. Sean
Hess still back there in third, waiting for something to happen. They've gapped him just a little bit. Cross Kirchmeier and Eddie Ensign having a great race here. Owen Van Eperen falling back to 6th, the points leader. Trying to hang on here, but still a great race here in the front. We'll see if Chase Carr has anything for Kanan Baker here in the back. Number 172, unfortunately, right there, that is Lake Edwards, who has fallen prey here to this race number 2. We go back up to the front and watch this race.
It's amazing to see the gap right now between Kanan Baker and Chase Carr. Chase Carr might have, held back just a little bit because he knows that he has a stronger run on this back section than Kanan has had this whole entire race.
And last lap right here, you throw it all to caution. There it is, outside in, and he gets it done again in that same spot. Kanan feeding a wheel right back to him.
This is an amazing race right here. Kanan
Just
Baker.
A great pass, and we talked about this. If you run the fast line, you open up the bottom, and that's what Kanan's doing. He's running the fastest line, but it opens up the bottom in the race, and somebody's going to try to stick their nose in there. Chase Carr scrapping hard to get back up in the front.
We only have 2 turns left. You see that Kanan Baker just bicycled just a little bit, but that did not hurt his time. But right here, we have the...
Here it is. He took the alternate route. Did not pay off. Exciting battle here in Pro NA. What a great race. Congratulations to Kanan Baker. A breakout race for him in 2023. Finally grabs his first win. In fact, his first podium on the season. So congratulations to Kanan Baker. Is so fast, and we knew he was really good. Just sometimes you get that racing luck doesn't go your way, but certainly put it together here today.
What a great way to start off our racing this evening, this exciting race. We do have our Pro Turbos coming up. That's going to be another exciting race. I can't wait to see them come out on the track as well. But we do have that Kanan Baker in that number 1 spot, Chase Carr in 2nd, Sean Hess in 3rd.
Yeah, Sean Hess with a great effort here as well. Chase Carr should leave here with the overall, finishing up first 1 race ago and then 2nd here today. Sean Hess finishing 2nd and 3rd, so I would think he would finish up with a 2nd overall. Great weekend there for Sean Hess as well in that Honda, and of course, congratulations to Kanan Baker. I mean, great effort there. Great to see those guys turn that program around.
Yes, and unfortunate that we do see Lake Edwards right there off the course. Kyler Holcomb also there. That was a tough corner right there. I mean, we have 2 cars broken in the same corner.
Tough corner for some players, but what a great race. I mean, really, without question, the best race in Pro NA we've seen all season long. It's been building, and we've had some great races in this category, but this has been building. The mandatory caution helps bunch them back up as well, and we just needed this thing to go completely green. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, this final turn, we just had that local caution. It seemed like for most of the race, finally got that thing cleaned up and let them go.
Yes, and you can see right there our recovery crew who is amazing out here, has been working hard all week long. They're our recovery crew, but they also are out working on the track as well when we're not here, keeping the track at its pristine conditions.
So we'll pop up our final results here and get them to you, as this is courtesy of Handy and those great lifts as well. Kanan Baker up top, as we talked about. Chase Carr, I mean, talk about chasing him. He was getting it done. Sean Hess, Cross Kirchmeier, Eddie Ensign. Great effort out of the top 5 there. Owen Van Eperen making the best of a tough weekend. Chad Mayo with a great run. How about that? Congratulations. Nick Burnham, Tyler Rimmerreed turning his around as well, and Carson Vale. Colin Truitt, man, a tough weekend for the guy that came in here 2nd of the points, as again he will be outside of the top 10.
Yes, and then Aaron Cuevas, Reese Harris, Aliana Baker, Cruz, Bouchard, Lake Edwards that we saw out, Chris Johnson, Kyler Holcomb, Connor Berry, and Robert Van Beekum. And it sounds like we will have our after results interview here in a second, but Elliot Cook and Curtis Kirchmeyer as well. I'm getting tongue-tied again.
There you go. So Erica Allreed is down there with our winner, Kanan Baker. And Erica, take it away here one more time. What an exciting race. Curious to hear this interview.
Chase, you mentioned yesterday after race 1 that you were strategically and methodically picking and choosing lines to set up your passes before you made them. Do you feel like you were able to do the same today, or was the goal simply to get in that top 3 to get this overall?
Yeah, the goal was simply to get in the top 3, but man, Kanan came out of nowhere. I love racing with him. It sucks. He's had a horrible season so far, but to be honest, that was probably the most fun race I've had so far. Man, that was a lot of fun.
It was definitely a fun one for us to witness as well, and I know you've got a lot of people behind you that helped you out with this win here today.
Yeah, I'd love to thank Car One, Polaris Razor, my grandpa, my dad, my mom, my family back home watching, Fox Shocks, KMC Wheels, Sparco, West Coast Motorsports, DS Customs, GBC Tires. Man, the list goes on. I can't thank everyone enough. The fans over there were unreal when we pulled off the track. I can't wait for next year.
Congratulations on this overall. Guys, consistency was key today for Chase Carr.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations, young man. That was a great effort for sure, and to Kanan Baker as well. 2 young guns throwing it down there for a win here at MAO. We'll take a quick break. The Pro Turbos are lining up. Stay with us. We'll turn them loose when we come back. And we welcome you back here to the 2023 Visions Off-Road Side-by-Side battles that are taking place here. Round 4, race number 2. We're wrapping things up. You can see the Pro Turbos down there behind the trees. And, of course, we will have the Pro Lights out here to finish things up as well. One Mr. Kyle LeDuc is watching in and sending me some messages. He said, man, that was a great race. He used a different word, but but it was a great race for sure. So we love the fact that he is watching, and I'm sure hungry to get back into a car. If you're not aware, he is battling stage 4 cancer, and sounds really good. Talked to him last week. Spirits are great. He's strong as an ox and doing what he has to do, following all the protocols. So we wish him the best of luck as well. You can go to his website and buy some swag if you'd like to help him out in his cause. He's got quite a battle ahead of him, but he's a scrapper for sure, man. 8-time champion is no pushover for sure. So wish him the best of luck and glad he's watching on.
And the other day out at our Drivers Summit, you were handing out stickers for drivers to put on their cars. So, and I know a lot of them put them on his car, on their vehicles out there racing.
Yeah, unfortunately your mic dropped out. But, yeah, Jason Robinette, by the way, the man behind this complex as we take a look at the track, 1,600 acres here. He reached in his pocket, had 1,000 stickers made. We told the drivers about the situation. A number of them put the LeDuc Strong stickers on their cars, and we certainly appreciate all of that support. And he also had some shirts made as well, so we are going to hand those out and have them make some donations. We appreciate everything Jason Robinette has done for this cause as well. And Kyle LeDuc's a proud guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to ask for help, and it's tough for him as well. But sit back, brother. We want to help you out, man. This is times where the racing community comes together, and that's why we love it so much. So they are prepping this track here. As you saw, there was a fair amount of dust, so they're going to put a little bit of water down and get this thing race ready for our Pro Turbo category. Stay with us. We'll be right back with some great racing action.
Connect with the Wild is about off-roading with your buddies. Connect with the Wild is about going to Moab and conquering new challenges that you didn't think were possible. Ultimately, Connect with the Wild is about enjoying the outdoors in your vehicle as best you can. We're treating it like we know it's something special that everyone will remember.
Watching Speed Sport 1, your home for great American grassroots racing. It's time to rumble! Whether you're into sprint cars or stock cars, at the line! Modifieds or midgets, down to the low side, we take the lead! Dirt lane models or demolition derby. Oh! Speed Sport 1 has the grassroots action you love. Are you kidding me? Speed Sport 1, the Motorsports Network.
And we welcome you back to the 2023 Visions Off-Road event here. This is round number 4, race number 2. The Pro Turbos are working their way out there. You can see that they put a lot of water down. Ultimax is going to show us our starting grid here. That is Kyle Chaney, who dominated this race, had a great run one day ago. How about Cash LaCroix? 14 years old, finished up in second place. By the way, he also qualified number 1 over at Wheatland in his group at that particular weekend. So the 14-year-old can hang with the big dogs. Corey Willis with a great effort up on the podium as well, has been hunting around. Speaking of hunting, how about Hunter Miller? Started off in the second to last row, scrapped his way up to 4th after an incident in the last turn where he cleared Corey Willis and I think got into Cody Martin. So Cody Martin, speaking of him, in a different number car, typically in the number 15, he'll be in the number 11. Timmy Farr down there a little bit deeper in the number 4 car. So talented. Scott Champion, our reigning champion, the number 1 car. And, boy, this field is stacked up, Pam.
Yes, it is. We do have Kanan Baker, who we just saw out on the track in the Pro NA class. He is out here now in number 14 position. We have Tyler Rimreed, who was also in the last race as well. Both of those young drivers are also racing in the Nitro Cross as well. But there you did mention Cody Martin is now in the number 11 down there. And then Austin Vanover and Zach Beavers had an incident yesterday. His car was pretty torn up. I know he was out there trying to get it going. So hopefully Zach Beavers is able to get out here on race course.
Strong cars here for sure. They weigh in at 1,750 pounds, and not uncommon for them to make upwards of 300 horsepower. I hear north of that with some cars, so these things can make some big steam. They are extremely fast.
Yes, they are. In the Pro Turbo class, this is another stacked field of 22 cars that will be taking the green flag out here for Visions 2023. It's been an amazing week of racing, as we keep saying, but I'm excited because these guys are getting ready to take that green flag. They're doing a later evening race right here. The track conditions have been changing all day long, and here we are getting ready to take our last couple turns before we go into the green flag.
Yeah, my understanding, over 280 cars. It's a record here for Visions. It's a record for us, period. So a large number of cars, 22 in Pro NA, 22 in Pro Turbo. The fields have been over 20 cars, if I'm not mistaken, in every single race. So they make their way down here through the final turn. The pace car here will pull off out of the way, hand it over to the veteran, Kyle Cheney, who is so solid, comes in here as a threat for the points lead, comes in here second in the points behind Cody Miller, and has really slowed the pace down here. I wonder if they told him to slow down. And then, yeah, it looks like we will not get the official start here. We saw the, I believe it was a red flag that is out there, so I'm surprised they used the red instead of the yellow. Not sure what's going on there. We don't have communication with race control, so if we find out, we will certainly let you know. But unfortunately, we'll bring the pace car back out here, and it looks like we'll make another lap.
Looks like they're going to re-rack them back up. But let's talk about the young Cash LeCroy. Last night we had our America Pro Rock, and Cash was out there not only in a UTV doing his rock bouncing in the on the knockout hill, but he also had one of the larger buggies racing against all the big dogs. So Cash LeCroy out there last night in the America Pro Rock, out here today racing in that number 2 spot, starting off next to Kyle Cheney in our Pro Turbo class.
Good stuff. Yeah, he is a talented young driver. That car, by the way, built by the Greaves. CJ and Johnny Greaves saw something in that young man and wanted to make sure he had the best he could possibly have. So hats off to his parents there as well for, I'm sure, a big part of that effort. And he got the best out of it. 1 round to go. We'll see how things shake down here. Corey Willis, Hunter Miller, Jacob Geisendorf as well with a great effort. 1 round to go. To go back and take a look there at the 27 car. That is Cash LeCroy, who we were talking about just a moment ago. The 91 is the highly decorated Kyle Cheney.
Yes, his Cash LeCroy's car, that bright white. Him and Kana Baker run that white paint scheme as their main color with the red on Cash's. It's one that we recognize out there, definitely, like you were saying. It's a Greaves-built Polaris, so it's an awesome car. Cash was having a lot of fun in it. He was battling some belt issues when we were out at Wheatland, so that was unfortunate after he did get the pole in his class and ended up with those belt issues, which kind of took him out of any running at Wheatland.
Cody Miller, the points leader coming in here, has been dominant all season long on the podium every single round and had 4 wins working. 1 day ago was battling with Kyle Cheney, ended up with a flat rear tire, and it cost him a number of positions. That's why he's down there in the 6th hole. So we'll see if he can redeem himself here today. Now that he has air in all 4, once again, our pace vehicle will pull off here, hand the field over to Kyle Cheney and young Cash LeCroy on the front. They throw the green flag. We're racing here in Pro Turbo, and they go 2 and 3 wide immediately here through turn number 1. A high risk versus reward turn here as they fan out, go some 3 and 4 wide back there.
Yes, and we saw the 3 Can-Ams out front instantly with it. Looked like Cash LeCroy was in that 4th position, but getting bumped back just a little bit. But it looks like we're going to have Kyle Cheney, Cody Miller, Hunter Miller, and Corey Willis right now are 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Obviously, the watered the track down there, so a little bit slick here on this first lap, but if you saw the last race, the dust was definitely going to be an issue if they didn't put it down, so they'll have to hang on to it. That is certainly very common here in this style of racing. First couple of laps can be a handful, but they've got to control that dust. You can't see anything. It becomes a hazard for sure. So right off the bat, here we go.
That is Cody Miller right there in the front already of this race. So where's Kyle Cheney at? He must be, obviously we have 3 yellow Can-Ams and they all look very similar, so it's all about what they have on their vehicles. Kyle Cheney's actually running in 3rd, so it looks like we're going to have Cody Miller and Hunter Miller running 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, we talked about Cody Miller there starting a little bit deeper. He started off in the 6th position, but the number 22 car is definitely out front. now feeling the pressure from the 90 car. That is his brother, Hunter Miller. Yeah, what happened to Kyle Cheney and Cash LaCroix as well?
Yes, so Kyle Cheney running in that third position, but it looked like Cash was a few cars back behind. So, off the start, everybody's pushing it super hard, and it just is an unfortunate situation sometimes when you don't get that good position. But Corey Willis is running in that fourth position. Kanan Baker is running in fifth. So right now, top 5 cars are all Can-Ams. Cash LaCroix right there in that sixth position.
Working through this final turn here as they complete lap number 1. Again, should be the same format here of 4 laps, mandatory caution. There is that Geisendorf, I think, making that pass there underneath, and all over the place. That might have been Kanan Baker.
It was Kanan Baker and Corey Willis right there battling it out. Corey Willis is also one of our Ultra 4 USA racers as well, so he raced yesterday out there, and now he's back out over here on our side-by-side championship series.
Kanan Baker feeling racy today. Had a great run there, picking up that win in Pro NA, and now out here battling for the front in Pro Turbo.
And let's talk about Kanan Baker really quick. Like we said earlier, he was just in the Pro NA class. Now he's in the Pro Turbo class. Next up, Pro Light. He's doing 3 races in a row.
Out of the car and back in the car, about as fast as you know how.
Exactly.
Good stuff. So, yeah, Cash LaCroix unfortunately falling a little bit deeper down in there. Geisendorf in 7th, Park in 8th. Scotty Champion there in 9th, and Taylor in 10th. As we go back up here and take a look at the 22 car. Good turnaround for him. We talked about Cody coming in here as the points leader. Finished 3rd the first 2 races, and then won the next 4 races consecutively, and then finished 6th 1 day ago, courtesy of that flat tire. Being hawked now by his brother, who's also had a great run this year.
Yes, and also Cody Martin, I ran into him and was chatting with him about his car. We know he's running the number 11 this weekend, but what he was telling me is he was only getting about 49% of his throttle. So he wasn't getting full throttle on his car. So that's more than likely what he ended up getting in another car. But we will see him. He's actually running in the 11th position right now in that number 11 car.
5 podiums so far for Hunter Miller as well. Comes in here 3rd in the points. Missed the podium in race number 2, round 2 there at Wheatland by just a little bit. And then missed the podium, as we talked about, just 1 day ago as well. So, yeah, Hunter Miller, a tough player. The Millers and Cheneys have certainly dominated this series so far this year, but they're starting to get some threats from some other players.
But Kanan Baker so far this race has the fastest lap at a 1:39.76. So awesome run so far from Kanan Baker. He is in that number 4 position on the race course, but with the fastest lap so far of this race.
Yeah, and you can see him out there. They are not too far behind. A vicious battle there for 3rd place. We'll see if he can make that happen before that mandatory caution comes out. So we'll see what happens here. We should see that caution flag come back out here at this lap as they come back around. A look at the 2 Millers. I believe Kyle Cheney there in 3rd place, and then Kanan Baker.
And Kanan Baker has been on Kyle Cheney's tail this whole entire time. He's not letting him go too far away from him, but there is a little bit of a gap between Hunter Miller and Kyle Cheney.
Everybody running that bottom low line right there through that long left-hander. Up and down through the S's is how I've been referring to those. The Miller brothers, of course, Can-Am factory drivers, as is Kyle Cheney. The cars are beautiful, and there is that mandatory caution. I believe a quote to have one of those built, the high-end car. Oh, and Kanan just goes off course there. I'm kind of curious. Oh, he's going to hang on to the spot either way it goes, so might have been battling right there to the stripe, but that was a strange moment to say the least.
I actually was looking at the scoreboard and didn't quite see exactly what happened, so.
Corey Willis back there with the PPE-sponsored machine. Of course, Corey, very talented as well in his day job when it comes to tuning a number of the vehicles. Very, very good at what he does. He's really come on strong. We've been talking about him a little bit as of late. He just got faster and faster over the course of the last 3 to 4 years. He just keeps, he's a bulldog. He just keeps digging, and he keeps learning, and he keeps trying, and he's closed that gap up here on these top 3. He hasn't quite gotten there yet, but he is a threat every single race. We saw him up on the podium 1 round ago, so wish him the best of luck, and it's great to see the progression out here. They will follow these 3 Can-Am back drivers, and these cars are very good. These guys are very good at what they do, no question about it. Cody Miller, a multi-time champ. His brother Hunter, a multi-time champ. Kyle Cheney, a multi-time champ. So a ton of wins between these 3 drivers that everybody else is trying to beat.
You are absolutely correct on that. And on these 3 drivers, something that I've been kind of talking to the drivers about, they are normally racing at multiple different kinds of tracks. So every time they come here right now, our track has been changing, and they have adapted to it very well. A lot of our drivers that have been racing just here, not just in our Pro Turbo class or any of our classes, they're used to the track we had, so they're now learning a new track. But when you race a different style track the whole, every time you race, it gives you that advantage, I guess, whenever you're coming into a new track.
Yeah, it's not intimidating to the guys that have been traveling for many, many years. They show up at a new track, they figure it out pretty quickly. At some point, when you hit enough tracks, you've seen just about every kind of turn there is. So there's something there that's familiar, and you kind of know how to attack them and find the fastest way around a little bit quicker than the people, like you said, that have just spent their entire careers at one local track, if you will.
Exactly. And look at the sun.
Yeah.
The sun is getting a little bit lower out here.
Finishing up this pace lap here, they're rolling through the final turn. Once again, we see the pace vehicle pull off here. We'll turn it back over to the race leader. That is Cody Miller. And looking for the green flag, they'll pick up the throttle here a little bit early, is what we've been seeing at least. Should pick it up just about here, and we are racing. 3-lap shootout here for the Pro Turbos. Here we go.
And a very clean start right there. It looks like Kanan Baker was trying to go on the outside of Kyle Cheney.
And got it.
The pass.
I don't know if he'll be able to hang on to it here, but he's tough on the inside. He's not afraid to go side by side with somebody. And a beautiful job. Cheney's car was really digging up the hill, but Kanan's got the spot there. That is not an easy guy to pass, and did it around the outside turn 1. Impressive move out of Kanan.
Yes, exactly. Racing against a veteran like Kyle Cheney, making that pass. He's got to be super pumped right now because he's trying to make his way up and race up here with the Miller brothers.
Yeah, looking to put on a show here in front of Travis Pastrana before he hops inside of that Pro Light, and then a little bit later on tomorrow inside of that Nitro Rally car. So Cody Miller off to a great restart here, being hounded by his brother. They race each other as hard as anybody out here. This one is far from done, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, so we have, it looks like we do have, Kyle Cheney did get back by Kanan Baker. So, wow, we didn't see the pass actually happen again, but we do have, it looks like Kyle Cheney's trying to go on the outside of
Cheney's
Hunter
like,
Miller.
I got to go here.
Right, exactly. I have work to do, guys. Get out of my way.
I'm going to pass Kanan, and I'm going to go up here and get these Miller boys.
Exactly. Corey Willis is still running back there in that 5th position, still running an amazing race. We did get a glimpse of a car off the track that was Scotty champion right there. Unfortunate to see him. He is our 2022 Pro Turbo champion, and he has had a tough season right now, but hopefully he gets the bugs worked out. I call them gremlins, and see him back up here on top of the box.
Yeah, former AMA pro rider as well. Got that pro card back in 2008. Spent some time out there with him, and yeah, Scott Champion's a wonderful individual. Great to have him out here, but he's having a tough go of it. The championship blues, as you will. It seems like that next year is always so tough after you win a championship. So 1, 2, 3 here once again, as those 3 are out front, and Kanan Baker coming after him again.
And our number 2 qualifier today for the race, Mr. Cashley Corey, is running in that 6th position.
The 22 car still out front here.
Mr. Cody Miller, he has a lap of 1:39.818, but the young gentleman of Kanan Baker, he is still holding the fastest lap of this race at a 1:39.04.
Cody Miller finishing up in 6th one day ago, as we talked about there. So Kyle Cheney, a little bit of breathing room in terms of the overall. I believe with the math, if things stay the way they are right now, if he finishes there in 3rd, would still win this overall, given the fact that both Hunter and Cody were behind him one day ago.
Now, I'm not sure if this was deceiving because of the sunlight, but it kind of looked like to me that Cody Miller might be having a left rear tire going down, but it could be just the angle he was at, not 100%. Hopefully not, as he is leading this race.
He's like, yeah, I did that. I tried that yesterday. It just didn't pan out for me.
Exactly.
So, yeah, don't wish that on me.
I don't wish it on him, but it kind of looked like that was going on, but hopefully not when he was going into a turn that was putting pressure on that left rear tire.
Wait, how about that? Kyle Cheney decided to take that inside route right there to see if that worked out for him and close the gap a little bit on the Miller brothers. Not sure if it worked or not. We'll see if he tries it again, but nice to see somebody try something different. It is an option down in there. The Miller brothers are slowly tracking away here. By the way, quick lap now going to Cody Miller at a 138.6. 138.7 is Hunter Miller right there behind him. And then in the 139s are Kyle Cheney and Kanan Baker. And we did hear Erica Allreed, by the way, say that Kyle Cheney really made a number of changes to his car, hoping he can make it even faster yet. He knew the Miller brothers weren't going to lay down easy.
Yes, and he's trying as hard as he can, as we've been seeing on the screen here. But look at that jump right there. That is our step up on the backside of the race course. It's kicking the cars slightly up on the right-hand side, kicking them a little higher than the left. But these guys, they're professionals. They know exactly how to handle the different terrain.
Good battles going on back in there as well. Looks like a little bit deeper in the field for 6th, 7th, 8th place. Everybody's scrapping back down in there. Corey Willis in 5th. Cash LaCroix still hanging on to 6th. Geisendorf, Martin, Taylor, and Farr round out your top 10.
And it's good to see Zach Beavers still running along here with the issues that he had. I drove by earlier the pit because I kind of take a look as I'm driving through all the pits, and his car was up on a jack with no tires on it at all. Like all fours were off, rebuilding the car. So hopefully he is definitely out here running his race, trying to keep those points going.
Final lap here for these two. See if they can hang on to the spot. No real pressure right here. They ran their fastest lap on the previous lap, so getting it done here, and once again, back that up with a great lap. It is going to be Cody Miller first across the stripe, followed up by Hunter Miller, then Kyle Cheney, Kanan Baker. Great battle here, and Pro Turbo once again. So really good stuff here. And how about the Miller brothers, both running their fastest laps of the race in the second to last race. That's how you prep a car. That's how you take care of a car and then bring it home. You use it when you need to use it. So good stuff there for sure out of everybody here in this tough category. You talked about Zach Beavers. He's down in there, finally does cross the stripe. So great rebound after a tough round in race number 1 earlier.
And that was Mike Park that was just on screen. He's another one of our Ultra 4 USA racers as well. So he's had a lot of seat time this weekend, but he just crossed over. Then Austin Vanover also crossed the line, and Chad Dusich.
Yeah, 124 there, still on the pipe a little bit.
Battling against the 525 of Connor Martell.
Yeah, 124 driven by Mitchell Huddleston.
Oh,
up on the bike there as they scrap their way through this final turn, still racing hard right to the finish. Looks like maybe some potential suspension damage there on the right rear for Huddleston.
Wow,
yeah, that one's
rear end.
that damper is done. So something broke there, but scrapping right to the very end, right? Use it all up. We're done here for the weekend for that particular category. They'll have plenty of time to fix it up before they come back here for round number 5. We'll get it down here to our winner. So if my gorilla math is correct, our overall winner should go to Kyle Cheney. Congratulations for Cody Miller for making a nice rebound to get back up on top there after a flat tire really put him in a bad situation 1 race ago. Good look at the complex there. A lot of paving going on. You can see the finish line on the left, and then to the right-hand side is part of the park. That is a beautiful RC track that I talked about before, where world-ranked drivers will be battling for $30,000 tomorrow during the day. Cody Miller, congrats. Hunter Miller, Kyle Cheney, Kanan Baker, and Corey Willis.
And then Cash LaCroix, Jacob Geisendorf, Cody Martin, Cody Taylor, and Tim Farr.
Yeah, all up there inside of the top 10. Thank you to Handy for bringing us our race results out here this weekend and all of their support.
Well, look at Cody Martin, the issues he was having. He was in a borrowed car, and he finished in the top 10 in that 8th position. How awesome is that?
All right, once again, Erica Allreed has our overall winner. It's going to be Kyle Cheney. We'll get it down to Erica.
Kyle, consistency was key for you this weekend as 1-3 finishes award you this top spot in this highly competitive Pro Turbo class. What were you finding out there that allowed you to put on these drives?
So I messed up right at the beginning, and Hunter and Cody got around me, and I told my spotter, he kept telling me where I could push to pass them. I'm like, well, I don't need to pass them. I'm like, I'm not going to push to break my car. We've got the overall right now. Kanan was behind me, and he wasn't in for the overall, so I knew even if he got by me, we still had the overall. So I was just being smart and just kind of following them guys around. I didn't want to make any mistakes, and I just wanted to keep my car together. After last round, I wanted to keep the car together. So, the Can-Am did awesome today. Raceline wheels, CT Raceworks for building the car, my whole crew, Action Off-Road, Raceline wheels, just everybody that helps me out. It's great to be up here, but, definitely consistency was what won the weekend.
Absolutely, I would say so. A job well done in this Pro Turbo class. Guys, a great championship race unfolding in front of us in Pro Turbo.
Thanks a lot. Nice job there, Erica. Congratulations to Kyle Cheney here once again. We'll show you some highlights from this Pro Turbo race number 2, round number 4, as once again they came out here digging some of the absolute best in the country, throwing down in this Pro Turbo category. Beautiful stuff there. That was right at the mandatory caution when Kanan Baker went a little sideways across the stripe, but it all ended up just fine.
Yes,
good stuff.
And those top 4 battling it out all race long. It was an amazing race to watch just now in our Pro Turbo class.
So that'll wrap things up here with Pro NA and Pro Turbo. We are not done. Do not go away. We still have the Pro lights. We'll fire them up here one more time. So stay with us here. When we come back, once again, we'll throw the green flag.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond, because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Lightweight, agile, and strong, the Pit Bull is perfect for the job. The Pit Bull is the first and only lift that can be used in the pits and in your garage. Elevate your racing with a Handy.
Welcome back to Speed Sport Live from Visions Off-Road 2022. And some cool shots here at Visions over at the lake there. Travis Pastrana and his crew, the RC car racing. Mark Gomez throwing some backflips for the crowd out there. Pro Rock Racing on Knockout Hill. All kinds of great things. Great shot overviewing the Great Pool and, of course, the Lazy River. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Arnold. I'm joined with our Pro Naturally Aspirated winner, Chase Carr. Oh, Chase, I'm so excited. I've watched you grow up racing. I've seen you jet skis and stand-ups. I've seen you on dirt bikes. I've seen you win championships in the works in the desert. Now here, taking wins at Visions Off-Road 2022 at Mid-America Outdoors. Pro Naturally Aspirated.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend, action-packed weekend. This place is awesome. I have to give a huge shout-out to the Robinettes, the whole Mid-America Outdoor crew, Billy Champion, between the Nitro Rallycross, the UTVs, the Barbie Jeep, pit bikes everywhere. This is a blast.
Did you check out the Pro Rock Racing there?
Yeah, I did.
It was pretty cool, man. I was enjoying it there. And, of course, Mark Gomez, we already know who he is. I've watched him over the years. But let's talk about your race. A good little battle. I know in race number 1, you took the top position.
Yep.
Hess was one of your big thorns in your side in that one. You were so worried about him in race number 2. But it wasn't him that was your nemesis out there.
Yeah, I had a all right Moto 1. Had some problems in the first half, but after the midway caution, I found my groove again and made my way back up to the front. And I knew I had to beat Hess today. Sorry, I just had a brain moment. I had to beat Hess today, so I made sure I kept him behind him, but I had no comms with my dad, so I didn't know where he was at the whole race, so I just kept pushing as hard as I could. Kanan came out of nowhere. That was an awesome battle we had there.
And let's talk about that battle. In the Can-Am versus the Polaris out there, so quite interesting. We saw him have a little bit more top end, but you got into the tight sections, you got into the serpentine on the side of the hill, you'd catch him. We saw you guys switch the leads back and forth. At least I counted 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it was an awesome battle. He had me on the mile an hour, but when we got back into the tight sections over here, I reeled him in a little bit. Just couldn't make the pass stick, but it's all right. We ended up with an overall for the weekend, so I couldn't be more stoked.
Now, here's the question. When you're racing out there, are you calculating the points in your head when you know who's next to me? You didn't have comms to your dad. He couldn't tell you who's there. I know racing in the works, you don't have communications or desert. To a degree, but no one's spotting for you out there.
Yeah,
you're normally a spotter in short course.
Yeah, I'm not I could go without a radio. I don't really rely on that. But no, I don't really care about the points. I'm just out here to have fun. I'm not a big championship chaser. So
if it just let the chips fall where they fall kind of thing, but you're having a good time, you're racing, and it's not too shabby to take a win.
No, it was a lot of fun this weekend. I had some awesome battles, and I can't wait to be back out here for the next round and next year's Visions.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future here. It's been a pleasure watching you in the SoCal scene growing up over the years, now out here in Oklahoma at Mid-America Outdoors, and it's been such a great time watching that race. In fact, the entire crew and all these fans were going nuts when we were watching that race. Probably so far one of the best races we've seen out there in pro naturally aspirated.
Yeah, the fans are pretty cool here. You could hear them when you came off the track, even though my car's loud. No, it was a lot of fun. I got to give a huge shout-out to my family for getting me out here. My family back home, too, my grandpa, my dad, Car One Fabrication, Polaris Razor, Fox Shocks, GBC Tires, KMC Wheels, Sparco, Impact. Man, everyone that helps me out, West Coast Motorsports, Jess and Andy, can't thank them enough. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Chase, I got to throw a big congratulations, my friend. Folks, don't go anywhere. We've got more racing coming up here. We just saw the Pro Turbos, Pro Lights coming up, more race call with Ken Stout, Pam Hall, and more from the Speed Sport Live Front Desk. We'll be back after word from our sponsors.
Speed Sport has been America's motorsports authority since 1934. Get news, results, and commentary from the most connected experts in the business, covering all forms of motorsports from flat track to NASCAR and everything in between. Bookmark speedsport.com on your mobile device now, or follow Speed Sport on social, and be sure to subscribe to the Speed Sport Daily. Speed Sport is your one-stop shop for all things racing on 2 wheels and 4.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. The rest of the market has been trying to follow our lead ever since. But a head start is a head start. Run with us.
Welcome back to the 2023 Visions Off-Road Side-by-Side Series. This is round number 3 for the trucks. We will switch over here. I said side-by-side series. Truck series. My apologies there. So this is round 3. Round 4 for the side-by-sides. Round 3 for the trucks. We picked them up at Wheatland was round 1. And then, of course, Memorial Day weekend, they were racing out here. There's a look at our points leader, the number 34 KGV back machine. That is Kyle Greaves as they are rolling out here onto the track. Kyle Greaves Connor Berry, who had a great run finishing up in second here just one day ago. Johnny Holcher comes in here. He is second in the points, 2020 champ for the Champ Series, and Kanan Baker finished up in the fourth position. So Kanan Baker, as we documented already in both previous races, having a great day out here, and we'll see how he does here in the Kanan Baker, or in the Pro Light category.
Yes, Kanan Baker running 3 races in a row.
We're going to see if we can get that Mr. Kyle Greaves on the radio. Kyle, can you hear me, buddy?
I got you.
Hey, man, congratulations on the great success in this series here as you're out there on your sight lap. I know you're trying to pick apart this track to see what you're going to be racing on. Talk to me, man. What's the plan here? Aggressively get after it in the beginning or save the truck a little bit?
The plan is just to see where we end up after the start. If we can get the start, then we'll race hard and see if we can pull a little gap to the halfway. Otherwise, we're just going to go out there and have some fun and just race the boys as hard as we can.
Okay, man, we'll let you focus on the start here. Best of luck.
That's so cool that we can talk to him.
Yeah, good stuff there. And I got to say, one race ago, they had a land rush start here, and Connor Berry was all over it, man. I mean, it was a good battle between him and, of course, Kyle Greaves, and hit a slick spot there and lost a little bit of momentum. But Connor Berry's no joke. Came out here, did a really good job. They had a great battle for second, third, and fourth in that race as well. So we'll find out how things shake down here. The Pro Light trucks, V8s inside of them, manually shifted automatics, produce about 500 horsepower here. They are Thunder trucks for sure, but they don't have the big suspension, say, of the Pro 2s and the Pro 4s. So they are tough to drive here, and this track, as you can see, has been used up. So we'll find out if they can keep them underneath them. It's going to be a handful here the first couple of laps.
Yes, it will. And Connor Berry, he's been racing for quite some time, so out here racing against Kyle Greaves, who is a champion as well. It's going to be interesting to see because Connor Berry also, he just came off, he was racing Pro NA earlier as well, so he's got some seat time right under his belt. He's warmed up, he's ready to go. So let's just see how this ends up playing out.
Yeah, you make a great point about Connor Berry. He's been racing since he's 9 years old. He's 18 years old now, but this is just his second year in Pro Light. He's a former champion going back to 2021 in mod carts, has a lot of success there. However, that guy beside him is the reigning champion in Pro Light coming out of the Champ Series, 15 wins as well. Just knocking on the top 10 of all time for total wins. So Kyle Greaves is tough. They pick up the green flag. Here we go. Connor Berry doesn't care about anything that he won a championship. He's going to stuff it down on the inside at turn number 1 and try to make it happen. Side by side they go. Connor Berry's still there.
Yes, he is definitely pushing his luck right next to Kyle Greaves, and they are side by side still going into turn number 2.
Beautiful job there by Kyle Greaves. Connor Berry does not flinch. These guys are pitted right across the aisle from each other as well. Connor Berry is going to get the lead here.
Wow, what a great run that Connor Berry has on Kyle Greaves. Johnny Holter.
Oh! Tank slapper twice. That's going to open up the door, and Kyle's going to take advantage of it. Right back comes Connor, not letting up. Almost like what happened in race number 1. Connor got a little bit out of shape in that same rhythm, or as we've referred to it, non-rhythm section. So it bit him just a little bit, and Kyle, keeping his composure, able to drive back by.
Exactly. Those whoops on that section are definitely like a motocross style, so Kyle Greaves put it perfectly as it's trying to get into a rhythm, but it's definitely hard to because of the way those jumps are set up. But Kyle Greaves is out front right now in the S-turns. On turn number 6, and here we do have Connor Berry. Johnny Holcher is definitely trying to get past Connor, so not sure if Connor's having an issue or if Johnny Holcher is just learning his lines and trying to play the game with him.
Johnny really switched it on towards the end of the race one day ago, and keep in mind he had a flat tire. Came in, crew changed that flat tire, got him back out without losing a lap, took advantage of the mandatory caution, and got right back in the fray. Speaking of in the fray, Connor Berry taking another look right there. So yeah, Johnny Holcher in the Yokohama back number 44, Connor Berry in the CBR number 2, and the KGB of Kyle Greaves out front. Kanan Baker back there in 4th place.
Kyle Greaves just coming through with the fastest lap of the race so far of 1:47.945. So great run so far of Kyle Greaves. The track is coming to them. They had watering down right before we raced our Pro Turbo class, so right now they do have some pristine track conditions.
Oh, something we should talk about here is the format is just a tick different by 1 lap. In our previous 2 races, it was 4 laps, mandatory caution, and a 3-lap shootout. Here it will be 4 and 4. Stretching it out here just a little bit is Kyle Greaves, starting to settle in and now. They used these tires up, by the way, 1 day ago. The right rear tires on these things, they really put them through their paces as they lean on them hard, and these left-handers, hard on the brakes and then back hard on the throttle. Some tire spin going on back there with the V8s that produce plenty of torque.
And yes, seeing the tires after they raced yesterday, like you're saying it, they were definitely chewed up. They had to put new tires on today or they would not be having any grip. But I did see some photos and stuff of Johnny Holcher's tires, and he's like, and these were new right before I started the race. But that's how it is out here. That's how it is racing in these Pro Light trucks and all the other Pro 2 and Pro 4 trucks that really eats the tires up, like you're saying, on the rear.
So good stuff. As you can see, this is a brand new track here that they developed. Pastrana wanted this track built for his Nitro cars, Nitro Rallycross cars, and Kyle over-rotates. That opens up the door for Connor Berry, who's right there, and here comes Holcher as well. So Kyle's going to have to regain that composure, be smart here, make a move, but Johnny Holcher wanted to stick his nose in there. He kept it clean, did not tag him. Really thought they were to make contact there.
I did too, exactly what you just said, making that contact. But Kyle Greaves, you know, he was, as we saw, he did a little bit of a spin out, not being on the gas right now, but he's trying to get past Connor Berry again, and that obviously is holding him up from Kyle getting past Connor Berry.
So great move right here. Amsoil is going to give us an instant replay of that pass. So just a little bit of over-rotation. This track is tricky, man. We saw that same thing happen earlier. Connor Berry takes advantage of it. But we saw that same thing happen at Wheelan, and it was his cousin, C.J. Greaves, who took advantage of it there and went on to win the race. That's the only race that Kyle Greaves has not won so far this year. He's won every overall, though. So here comes Kyle. He's going to have to work for this one. Keep in mind he still has a mandatory caution to use as well, but he's going to hawk that number 2 truck.
Yes, he right now what's probably going through his brain is he's just trying to wait up for Connor Berry to make a mistake, possibly do what he did on the last lap where he got passed, but he's going to definitely be stalking out where Connor's driving and try to open up the door for him to pass.
Well, Connor gave us an instant replay right here in this section of the track, right where they were. He went off the track a little bit yesterday. That's why the left front fender is missing part of the fiberglass. He pounded into the face of that step, if you will. Here comes Kyle Greaves. You're exactly right. The same exact spot. Connor Berry didn't give it up just yet, though, and uses a little bit of that truck to wash up high. Nothing wrong with that, man. That's how you race and keep the spot.
Yes, and Johnny Holcher is up in the mix, running in that 3rd position. He's working his way, trying to get around Kyle Greaves, but right now it's a great battle between 1, 2, and 3.
Holcher, a 2020 champ. The 2022 champ is Greaves. And, of course, the 2021 champ in Mod Kart is Connor Berry. Jumps it right there, goes to the outside, but maintains some momentum. How about Holcher taking the inside line?
That did not work to his advantage, as I think he was hoping to, but he's going to try to catch right back up as well. But Connor Berry still out front, but Kyle Greaves actually, look at the young gentleman of Kanan Baker, actually has the fastest lap of the race so far at a 1:46.002. He's running in that number 4 position, but has the fastest lap so far.
Well, how about the 4 truck separated by a mere 0.2 of a second, maybe 0.3 of a second? 1:44.0, 1:44.0, 1:44.29, and 46.0 all across the board, not 44 or 1:46. So great battle there, and once again, a hunt for the lead. Kyle Greaves with a great run through this rhythm section. He definitely has something figured out in there.
Yes, those first 2 jumps, if you were noticing that they were both having to let up just a little bit more in the second 2 jumps in the whip section, what they're doing is they're a little bit bigger rollers, so they're able to get on the gas and just kind of float over them. So Kyle Greaves was able to get past Connor Berry. Connor Berry kept that door open just slightly, and here we do see Kyle Greaves back out front.
Yeah, should be coming back around here for the competition caution. At the tail end of this lap, 34 truck able to pick that lead back up. Great racing, without question. One of the best pro light races we've had here. 4 trucks, 3 of them duking it out. As you pointed out, Kanan Baker with the quickest lap of the bunch. So once he takes advantage of this yellow flag, now that he's seen the track, has a feel for it, no reason to believe that he won't be right in the middle of this mix as well in the last 4 laps.
Yes, it'll be amazing to see after they do that competition yellow, all of them bunched back up as you were seeing. But I do not see Kanan Baker in the mix back there.
Yeah, I do agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but we shall find out if he gets back up into here.
He did record that last lap, so when we saw him come across, 3 laps in the books for him, there he is way back there. Maybe possibly a moment there for him. He'll have a chance to catch up here as they come to the mandatory caution. So 4 laps in the books, 4 laps to go.
So Holcher just got around Connor Berry. We missed that on camera. Wow. So we do have Kyle Greaves on that number 1 spot.
Maybe not so fast. See if we can find out what happened here. We're back there looking, trying to find Kanan Baker, who rolls up in the back, and it looks like Holcher is going to take over that second position. See if we've got a replay here from Amsoil. See if we can watch this move. And right there, he gets sideways, over-rotates that truck down off the track. And Johnny Holcher made him pay for it right there at the mandatory caution. Wow, that's a race control decision. I'd love to see that. I mean, and they did. They put no, they did not. Holcher's still in that spot. Man, I got to tell you, from that angle, I'm not sure that he had the position, but I'm not real sure where the stripe was in terms of transponder, right?
Correct.
It's going to be timing and scoring. So if that transponder is a little bit before there, it's good. Let's see if we can get Kyle Greaves back on the radio here. Hey, Kyle, you got a chance to talk, buddy?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, man, didn't know if you were on the radio there with your spotter. Wow, what a battle here, man. Connor definitely put it to you there, and you had to scrap back around. Beautiful job through the rhythm section. Now you've got Johnny Holcher on the back bumper. This is a tough race.
Yeah, you know, they're definitely on it today, and I definitely feel like some off set up a little bit, but we'll maintain and we'll just do the best we can.
Yeah, solid effort, man. You kept your composure. You look great out there. Truck looks good. Looks like that track is a bit tricky there, a little bit slick. So we'll let you go. Best of luck here in the back half of this race.
Another awesome in-car interview with you and Kyle Greaves. But Kyle Greaves on that number 1 spot right there. The green flag will be waving, and it's all up to him.
All 4 of them, nose to tail. 4 laps to go here. Race number 2 for round number 3. Here at the Visions race, of course, 2023, and our MAO truck battle. Johnny Holcher trying to hang tough. It looks like so far, Greaves getting away here on a great restart.
Talking with Johnny Holcher yesterday, he was talking about how he's trying to follow Kyle Greaves and try to learn from him, trying to get in his head. And it looks like he has done a lot of that in the past couple of races. Johnny Holcher has really stepped up his game in this Pro Light Series.
Greaves really good through this section of the track, rhythm section. I'm just going to stick with it for now. And that's where he made his pass a couple of times, able to leg it out right there. And curious to see if Kanan Baker can come up here and create a little bit of havoc with Connor Berry.
He's not too far behind him, and like we said earlier, he still holds that fastest lap. Actually, Kyle Greaves is now taken over the fastest lap at a 1:44.465. But Kanan Baker definitely had that fastest lap there for a little while, and he's definitely trying to push his medal as well, learning from the drivers in front of him.
So still a good battle here. Johnny Holcher in second, Connor Berry in third. Kanan looks like he might have fallen back just a little bit here once again.
And again, this is Kanan Baker's first year in a truck. He's always raced in side-by-side, so it's a completely new kind of race vehicle for him. But he's young. He's learning from all of them that he is in. But we do have Johnny Holcher and Connor Berry right there making their way through the end of the S turns. They have 2 more turns, and they'll be coming in for lap number 4, getting complete.
Ripping it around here. That is 5 laps complete there as they roll out. There's going to be 3 laps remaining here. So we'll see if anybody can close this back up. So far, the spacing pretty even here with all of the trucks as they restarted here this back half. Connor not able to close up yet on Johnny Holcher. Thought that battle would ensue for sure, but so far they're all staying about the same. Yeah, I had a chance to talk to J.D. Baker. That is Kanan's father. He said, honestly, we really haven't touched that truck. We just want to let him keep driving it, get a feel for it. We talked about that a little bit earlier before in the RC racing. You can chase that truck, but until Kanan feels good in the truck, there's too many variables. So let him figure it out. Say, man, I'm driving it pretty good. I'm comfortable now. Now let's start chasing setups in the truck.
Yes, and as you can see right there on Connor Berry's rear fender. It is a little bit bent. It looks like it's rubbing on that tire, so hopefully that does not create an issue with him and having that body rub that tire and end up with a flat. And I don't want to like put a bad omen on him, but it is rubbing on that tire, which might not be good. But we do have Kyle Greaves right there drifting his way through our turns.
Yeah, the tires are pretty tough there. As long as it's just fiberglass, should be okay. However, if a hanger, of course, gets into the sidewall there, it will not live for very long. And I've got to say, Johnny Holcher hanging right here on the back bumper, man. Kyle is not getting away. This slick track here is proving tough, a great equalizer, if you will. And Holcher closing up.
Yes, and like I was saying earlier, he said that what he's doing is he's trying to get in Kyle Greaves' head because he's doing nothing but learning from him, and it shows right here in this race.
Coming back around here, a couple of laps yet to go.
And he is launching off that jump, trying to make up ground, but look, he has closed that gap even more between him and Kyle Greaves.
Could be a tire setup, could be the tire itself, it could be a tire cut, whatever the case may be. There's no question that Kyle Greaves is digging hard here, and this track not necessarily to the liking of that truck through that slick area. Come in here where he's got some grip and he's got some power. Man, he powers away. I mean, he drives away. He definitely has a handle on this section of the track, and that buys him just enough room, it seems, to hang on through the slick stuff.
Yes, and you can see the difference in the whoop section back there. You can see how he was lifting it on the first two, and then the second two jumps of that whoop, he was definitely just floating right over it. Just now going up that step up. 2 laps remaining in this race. Kyle Greaves has Johnny Holcher not too far behind him, but they're running an amazing race out here.
I think with that over-rotation that definitely got Kyle Greaves' attention, probably slowing down, really taking care of the truck right in there, saying, I don't think he can pass me here as long as I don't over-rotate it and make a big mistake. He can run up on the back bumper. I'm okay with that, but he touches him and turns him around. The question now is, how does race control view that?
Wow, what an amazing little incident right there. But Johnny Holcher also has the number one, the fastest lap of the race at a 1:44.367, but he has been following along. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, he knew that Kyle was struggling in that area, and if he's going to make a move, that's where he has to make it. So he wants to be aggressively close. Johnny's, he's not a dirty driver. My guess is not intentional, but nonetheless got into the side of that truck. Tough call here for race control. Do they let it go? They call it a racing incident? Or do they get after him? White flag out. Have not heard anything just yet. They do have radio communication with the spotters, and of course the spotters are talking to the drivers as well. But so far, the 44 truck, Johnny Holcher, let's go back, take a look at it here. And we talked about the 34 truck taking it easy through this slick stuff. He's struggling, no question, and wanted to protect down here on the bottom. A little bit of over-rotation, but honestly not like he was going to lose it or go sideways or even lose a lot of time. But unfortunately, Holcher getting into the back fender. I promise you, I know how Kyle Greaves is viewing it.
You can see Johnny was trying to step on his brakes as hard as he could. Definitely not intentional, but Kyle, with that little bit of an over-rotation, just opened the door for Johnny Holcher.
And now starting to drive away here. Will not affect the terms of Kyle Greaves losing points. And I will tell you, if Kyle Greaves hangs on here to second, should still mathematically win the overall. He won yesterday and would finish second here. Johnny Holcher finished third and would win here.
Johnny Holcher definitely holding his own out here, running his own race now out front, but he will be coming through for a checkered flag here in just a moment. All Johnny has to do is just hold on to his truck for a few more turns, and he'll be getting that checkered flag.
So Kyle Greaves just play it smart here, back off, hang on to the spot, collect the overall. He would be 3 consecutive wins here in terms of overalls and maintain that points lead. That's what it's all about. Johnny Holcher looking to finish this one up, racing hard, hanging on the back bumper of Kyle. I promise you we'll be happy here. Congratulations to Johnny Holcher. He will grab race 2 win here, round number 3. Kyle Greaves gathers it back up, crosses the stripe there. I take that back, so Connor Berry did get ahead of Kyle Greaves. I did not see that. So we'll find out how things shake out here, because the overall now should go to Johnny Holcher. It would actually be a tie in the points. Whoever finishes better in the second race gets the nod in that tie. we'll see. Johnny Holcher should get this overall. That's a big, big win for him.
Yes, and you see Kanan Baker on the gas in that last little bit of a turn. But we have Johnny Holcher in that number 1 spot, Connor Berry in that 2nd, and Kyle Greaves 3rd, and Kanan Baker in that 4th position.
Wow, so an exciting race here, a very tough race here, and challenging track conditions here for the guys in the pro lights. The slick stuff there, it's something Kyle Greaves and those guys I'm sure will go to work on and see if they can adapt to a little bit better. Very good on the back half of the track, just struggled up there in the front, and for whatever reason, Johnny Holcher and the gang, they put together a great effort there, and he drove a good race through that slick stuff. So race control deems it a racing incident, and it is what it is. So another look here at this highlights reel as they got going on that opening lap. And Connor Berry again was bringing the heat.
Yes, him and Kyle Greaves were definitely battling it out, but here comes Johnny Holcher right there. He was also up in the mix just a little bit, but once that door opened when Kyle passed him, or Kyle did his little incident, but right here, there we go. These boys, they were battling it out every single lap almost for the lead right there on that backstretch of our whoop section.
So good stuff there, and we'll go back, I'm sure, see this moment that changed everything at the front, and there it is. Johnny Holcher slowing the truck way down. Unfortunately, did tag the back of Kyle, and he rotated, and it cost him a couple of spots. Checkered flag flies. Johnny Holcher picks it up. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to our winner.
At 360 Wraps, we've been working hard to transform the vehicle wrap industry. Wherever you are, we're standing by to show you the professionalism you deserve. With a dedicated account manager, you'll always feel confident and in control the entire time. Providing nationwide service to the top brands in the industry, our team will confidently handle any project you give them. One contact, one company, nationwide service. Come by to experience the 360 difference for yourself.
Connect with the Wild is about off-roading with your buddies. Connect with the Wild is about going to Moab and conquering new challenges that you didn't think were possible. Ultimately, Connect with the Wild is about enjoying the outdoors in your vehicle as best you can. We're treating it like we know it's something special that everyone will remember.
Welcome back to the 2023 Visions Off-Road Weekend. It has been a busy, busy weekend. Of course, it's round 3 of the Mid-America Outdoors Truck Series as well. So great battle here in the Pro Light category. And we'll show you a little bit of the action here, of course, as the results pop up here. Johnny Holcher with a solid effort here, and I believe going to walk out of here with the overall. Finished third, 1 round to go. Kyle Greaves finishes third this round, and it picked up the win 1 round to go, or 1 race ago. But that would create a tie, and, of course, Johnny Holcher finishing in front of him here is the tiebreaker. Connor Berry with a solid effort as well. Connor Berry second place over the last 2 races and his first effort out here at Mid-America Outdoors. So one more time, we'll get it down to Erica Allreed, who's with our overall winner.
Johnny, you continue to progress in this Truck Series Championship as you continue to one-up your previous round's results. In round 1, you got a 4th. In round 2, you got a 2nd. And now here in round 3, you take this overall. How would you describe these drives en route to this overall finish?
It's definitely been a roller coaster, and it's a lot different with this moto style scoring, but Just really being consistent, that's all. But today that out there was not really the way I wanted to win. I kind of made a mistake with Kyle, and I'm going to go apologize to him. But definitely hats off to my team, Yokohama Tires, HBI, R&R Insurance, Impact, and everyone else. Thank you so much.
A job well done. Congratulations on your very first overall of the season.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Erica, of course, and Johnny owning it right there. You can at least respect that. Walk over there and apologize. The last thing you want to do is create hardships out there on the racetrack because they will come back to bite you.
Yes, exactly. That shows true sportsmanship from a racer like Johnny Holter. He's a young driver, doesn't want to have that kind of reputation, and so it's definitely a true sportsmanship right there.
Yeah, no question about it. So great to see that out of the young driver. And all of those kids, I call them kids, they're all really young drivers, and they're all pretty good buddies as well. So glad to see that for sure. Definitely has some integrity. Good battle there in all of our categories all along the way, Pro NA, Pro Turbo, and Pro Light. Hope you enjoyed all the great short course racing. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Lightweight, agile, and strong, the Pit Bull is perfect for the job. The Pit Bull is the first and only lift that can be used in the pits and in your garage. Elevate your racing with a Handy.
Welcome back to the Speed Sport Live from Visions 2023, presented by Can-Am. And speaking about Can-Am, the big winner here, Pro Turbo, Kyle Cheney. Welcome to Speed Sport Live from, man, what a great race that was.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me up here. This event, this whole just week is awesome, out here. Like, there's not a better place in the United States to go right now besides this place to race. Like, we were able to race Ultra 4 earlier, all the short course stuff. We got to watch the nitro, the freak jet skis. Like, it's just, this place is insane. It's awesome.
What did you think about last night's show?
Oh, dude, last night's show with the rock bouncers and everything was lit. Like, it was awesome. There were so many people down there. Like, they had laser lights and stuff. Like, just, there's something going on all the time that keeps people interested, and it's awesome. Like, it's definitely a family atmosphere. Like, you definitely don't get bored here. If you get bored here, you've got an issue.
So were you running through the woods yesterday in Ultra 4?
Yeah, the woods. The woods race was awesome yesterday. We got some rain before, and they had to cut out one creek crossing, but we still went up at this nasty creek crossing, and it was great. The Ultra 4 does a great job. I love racing Ultra 4. I started racing GNCCs. That's kind of what got me into the side-by-side stuff. I was a dirt bike racer, and they started racing side-by-sides at the GNCCs. And, so the Ultra 4 stuff kind of brings me back to my GNCC days.
Well, speaking of that, 2 championships in GNCC, 2 championships in Pro Mod, racing in the other short course series, and 3 consecutive wins overall at King of the Hammers.
Yeah, no, that's there definitely should be some more championships in there that we've lost by threads, but championships aren't won in one day, and that's kind of what I did today. I won the first moto the other day, and both Millers didn't have a good moto, so I made a mistake off the start here, and they both got by me. But, I was telling my spotter, he kept wanting me to push to pass them, but he wasn't thinking about the overall. I'm like, you know what, I don't have to pass them. I'm just going to stay right here. I don't want to push my car, and end up breaking and end up having, a DNF. So, I knew the guys behind me. I'm like, just tell me who's behind me and let me, calculate everything in my head. I'm like, okay, we're good. Kanan's behind me. He didn't have a good race. So, even if he gets by me, but I wanted that buffer in between him and Cash, because Cash had a really good first moto. So, Kanan had that buffer in between us, and, I just followed the Millers around all day, and, it was great. That was kind of my plan. If I wasn't able to stay out front, I wanted to just stay right there in third behind the Millers and, bring home the win here at Visions, which is awesome.
And what a dominant performance for Can-Am, I got to say. Watching you guys finish up there, black and yellow, straight across the line, all top 4 vehicles, actually.
Yeah, no, Can-Am really has been dominating just about everything. I think Can-Am has won everything out here, that they're allowed to race in. So, we even wanted to race the 4,400 race in the Can-Ams, but there's kind of a gray area there. So,
well, we see a lot of the King of the Hammers. We see you competing overall with a lot of them out there, and we've seen guys that go race against them, and it's quite interesting to watch.
No, it is. I feel like here the advantage, isn't to the trucks. I feel like here, like in the woods for the 4,400s, they may have a little disadvantage. Yeah. So I wouldn't even want to race a side-by-side against them in the woods with us having an advantage. Like, I don't think that's fair, because for one, it is a big truck class. And, but when we're at King of the Hammers, the side-by-side is definitely a disadvantage. So, for us, to go out there and do good at a disadvantage, I want to do that. I don't want to race a 4,400 in a side-by-side and win this race and then everybody brag, oh, Kyle beat the 4,400s. It's not the same as beating a 4,400 at Hammers.
And when if you got big boulders and big rocks and the big trucks, you have that advantage out there for sure. But like you said, through nimble, narrow courses, it's one of the things there. And the impressive thing is your championships. Is this another one that is another strive for a championship as you're on that mark right now?
I'm definitely trying. There's some fast guys here, the Millers and Cash and Kanan and Corey Willis. And, there's just a long list of names of a lot of top racers that are here. So, this is definitely a national series with, national recognition. There's big money behind it. And, this would be a great championship to win. I'm definitely – that's part of the plan, to just keep staying on the podium and, just keep clicking off podiums. Hopefully, more wins than, not. But, that's going to be tough with the amount of competition that's out here. There's definitely a little bit of luck involved in all this. So, you got to stay, prepared.
Well, I know you have you're from Ohio, I believe?
Yeah, just east of Columbus.
And you got a shop there.
Yeah. So we got, a Pro 4. My mechanic Austin, which is actually a mechanic on a Nitro team here. He's mechanicking here. He does all the fab stuff on the Pro 4, and then on the side-by-side, he does a lot of the fab stuff. CT Raceworks builds all the chassis, and, Austin just kind of does a little final prep to them, but he's mainly just a Pro 4 guy. And then I got a full-time side-by-side mechanic, Jeremy Wallace. He does all the side-by-side stuff, and, when he's done with that, I make him feed the cows.
Little double duty there, but so awesome to see. This is your career, this is your life, this is your job. And when you get into that vehicle, whether it's a Pro 4 or whether it's in a side-by-side, that's your office.
Yep. Yeah, no, and I love it. You definitely have your bad days. When the days are bad racing, it's like it sucks. I came in, we raced Anago and Champ last weekend, and Saturday I had a horrible day. I had a boost tube blow off on my Can-Am running in the top 3, and then in the Pro 4, Mamer parked it in a corner, and we all just we all tangled up and broke, and so I didn't even make a lap in the Pro 4 that day. And, I came in that night, and I was like, you know what, screw this race and stuff. I'm just going to be a farmer. I'm just going to go home and cut hay and go hang out with the cows. But, that only lasted for a couple minutes, and I was back out. Let's get this stuff going. Let's get these wins tomorrow.
Is that one of the things that helps you decompress, being out there on the ranch and the chows and kind of just take it all in?
That's kind of a new thing that I've acquired. I've kind of figured I can't race my whole life. So, this whole farm thing is kind of new to me. So I'm kind of, trying to learn it. But my relaxing is deer hunting for sure.
That's
whitetail
nice. Well,
hunting.
your therapeutic moments.
Yeah, that's in the fall. So it's kind of when we slow down a little bit. We're still wide open, building stuff and getting ready for the new seasons. But that's I can just go out and sit in a tree with my bow and just relax.
I was going to say, you got the stand set up.
Oh, I set them up when I go. So I play the wind, and whatever the wind's doing, I'll set up that day. So I usually don't leave stands, but yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it. And so a lot of times I'll sit all day.
Well, I got to say, thank you so much for coming by. Congratulations on today's win, putting that can up on top of the box once again. One of the things that's been great is watching you go through the career, and I got to say, I'm excited to see the next couple rounds how they all turn it out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, Kyle Cheney, thanks a lot for coming by. Folks, thanks for tuning in. We got more. We got Johnny Holcher coming by. So don't go away for too long. We'll be back with Speed Sport Live from.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. We punish our products firsthand in our world-class laboratories and beyond because some things can't be learned from a test tube. Run with us.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
Speed Sport has been America's motorsports authority since 1934. Get news, results, and commentary from the most connected experts in the business, covering all forms of motorsports from flat track to NASCAR and everything in between. Bookmark speedsport.com on your mobile device now, or follow Speed Sport on social, and be sure to subscribe to the Speed Sport Daily. Speed Sport is your one-stop shop for all things racing on two wheels and four.
Once again, welcome back to Speed Sport Live from Visions 2023, presented by Can-Am. I'm Dave Arnold, still up here and having a good time talking to all the drivers. We got the unofficial winner from the Pro Lights, Johnny Holcher. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing great. I kind of feel a little down about what happened with me and Kyle, but what do you do? It's racing.
Well, that's one of the things. It's how I heard some calls, possibly just a racing incident. It's something that's hard. When a truck steps out on you, it's hard to go. Just hit the brakes and everybody hit you from behind. So you got to kind of make that choice, and I think that's what that situation was.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be honest. I definitely got on it a little early, but he did slide out wide. But I don't want to race anyone that way or be that guy. And I went over there and talked to him and apologized and just did the right thing at the time.
Well, one of the things I've watched your entire career, growing up from the junior karts through mod karts, and now watching you in the Pro Light, and it's been a pleasure watching this. And you've gone up to championships in the kart divisions, and you've raced in whether it's been back in the Midwest or out in the West Coast. And it's great to see, now Great American Short Course is part of the MAO family. You're racing here, a lot of big things coming.
Yeah, no, definitely. From the trophy kart days, it definitely teaches you a lot about these bigger trucks and how to handle them and how bikey they are. Like, a mod kart is very similar to a Pro Light with how bikey and how twitchy, and they're just hard to drive in general, but definitely have always been running as much as I possibly can, whether it's the karts or the trucks. And running the gas series out west, definitely had a lot of success over there throughout the years, and excited to do more of this.
It comes down to seat time, and
Yes.
especially when you move up from the mod carts to the pro lights, like you said, figuring out the nuances of the trucks, keeping it down. Now the different track conditions, different formulas, and what tracks come. Do you have to readjust a little bit, especially this being a new track here?
Yeah, definitely it takes a lot of readjusting. Like from running the Champ Series back home, there's always bite in the track, and it's always tacky. Here, we're the last race, so it's blue grooved. It's like a dirt late model race, where it's and it's different. It's fun and it's different and it's cool, and we don't get to see that stuff. So we're all chasing setup and trying to figure out like what to do to make our trucks work on this kind of track condition.
Do you think it makes it a little bit more competitive out there because everybody's on an even playing field coming into this race?
I wouldn't say necessarily, because some people will figure it out a little closer than others, but we're slowly stepping up on it and figuring out how to run here and how to be faster. But it's different and it's fun.
Well, talking, things is tire grooving, something I know these are DOT tires, but you could actually go in and cut and groove these. Have you had to play with that at all here?
We tried grooving, and it just eats the tire. Like,
Tires.
absolutely, it's like bald after. So today we went to something where we just threw a tire on. Didn't groove it, didn't sipe it, didn't nothing. So it's just all the rubber on the ground at once.
So, Johnny, I know racing's pretty much your life, and your family's very, involved with it. I mean, what else are we going to find you doing out there? Hunting, fishing? Living up in the Wisconsin area?
I really love to fish. I have my own little pond at some of the land we have, and pit bikes. That's probably my next favorite thing. I got a bunch of buddies, and we'll go up riding all the time, but otherwise just going out on the boat and having a good time.
You know that they had like $50,000 total purse for those rounds at pit bike racing. Man, I was hoping you were going to come on up there and play with us.
My dad was wanting me to, too, but I don't want to break a collarbone or something or do anything like that.
A lot at stake also in the pro light trucks.
For sure.
Well, it's one of the things, you got to find something to get away a little bit from the racing, to separate, to get your mind in the right state. Is that your happy place?
Yeah, no, after a weekend, when we're not super busy like we are now, bouncing between this and Champ, me and the boys will go up and we'll bring pit bikes and we'll bring fishing poles and just take a day off after the race just to like mellow out and recuperate and just spend time as a team. Those who play together, work together well. So that's just kind of the team building thing we do as a group.
Well, that's awesome, and it seems like it's starting to pay off. Unofficial winner. I got to say, Johnny, thank you. Congratulations. So great to have you out here. It has been a great week here, bringing you all the coverage, of course, from Speed Sport Live from Visions 2023, presented by Can-Am. A big thanks to Pam Hall, Ken Stout with a good race call for our pro coverage. Great coverage all week long. Make sure to go check out all our social media on Mid-America Outdoors as well as Speed Sport. You'll find out lots of great stuff. So make sure you join us again for our Speed Sport Live from Visions 2023. It's Michelob time! Woo! That's all they got.
You're not old enough for Michelob.